reevaluate it with the benefit of hindsight. Among other things that will help make you a better advice evaluator going forward. Now, what I've just said about how to respond to advice is simply an example of what should be a more general way we should respond to fellow members of our various communities. We should listen respectfully to what others say, give them the respect of actual consideration, decide what meaning or urgency it has or lacks, and then reflect on what our own response should properly be to what has been said. I think that will work in every walk of life, but just imagine if we were to adopt that habit in our public discourse, listening to those who offer differing points of view, evaluating those views with genuine respect, thinking seriously and not reflectively about how to respond, and constantly checking ourselves to see that we ourselves are being faithful to that respectful approach. Now, I've spent a good part of my life in the day-to-day give and take of politics. I don't think I'm naive in my hope that we can improve the quality and respectfulness of our political discourse, rather than watching passively as it declines. Today, it seems that the first impulse is to blame the other side, the way we did when we were kids. He started it first. Well, let's change the impulse to the obligation to ask, how can I help get this thing back on the right track? I also know from my experience in politics and public service that most folks meet goodwill with goodwill and respect with respect. As a matter of fact, in my experience, the more successful legislators in the long run are those who would rather shake a hand than make a fist. You know, in one of his more famous poems, Mending Wall, Robert Frost had an old New England curmudgeon say, quote, "Good fences make good neighbors," suggesting that desirability of barriers between folks. But the voice of the poet responded, quote, "Before I build a wall, I'd like to ask and know, what was I wailing in and walling out?" Pretty good advice. Before we build barriers of separation between ourselves and others, I think we should ask, what are we walling in or walling out? Now, people sometimes ask how I came to be interested in working to help the disabled. I have a very simple answer. It happened the day I was born. My oldest brother, Jack, was challenged with intellectual disabilities. In the 1930s, when he was born, it was common for persons with his disability to be committed to institutional care. Now, my mother was delivering her first child, my brother Jack. 6th grade education, immigrant from Europe, 6th grade education. Doctor said to her, "We'll take your son. He's not going to live long. Put him in an institution, roof over his head, 3 meals a day. And while I have you, I advise you not to have other children." She turned to the doctor and said, "He's coming home, and I'm going to have more children. He will be part of their lives, and they will be part of his life." This is a woman, 6th grade education. Today, we call that term inclusion. And then she turned to the doctor on the way out. "You said he was a burden. He's a blessing." Well, she had other children. And needless to say, My mother did not agree at all with those doctors. My brother Jack certainly was the inspiration that led his brothers and his sisters and many others as well to understand that each of us has a personal responsibility to do what we can to care for persons with disabilities. In this way, my brother, an IQ of 36, was a gift, a blessing to us. He opened our eyes and our hearts to the needs of the disabled. In his very special way, he was our teacher. And we learned the lesson early. And we believe in the idea of possibilities. Because today, there are pessimists. There are those like those doctors who said, my brother should be institutionalized, who will say, you can't do it, it's not possible. They will say all of those things to many people. I'm reminded of something that the late Bobby Kennedy liked to say, quote, there are those that look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. People who are burdened with the reality of physical or intellectual disabilities have the confidence and the optimism to ask us, why not? There isn't a good answer except yes, let's go for it. And so there are organizations like Best Buddies, founded by Bobby Kennedy's nephew, Anthony Shriver. And one of the things that Best Buddy does is place persons with intellectual disabilities in integrated employment positions. A recent study for the Institute for Corporate Productivity found that not only are the disabled highly motivated and reliable workers, they also inspire and elevate the spirit, the culture of their workplace. And this is attested to by the success that companies like Walgreens have had in employing workers with disabilities. Walgreens has found that hiring disabled persons to work in its distribution centers has led to higher productivity, lower absenteeism, higher retention rates, increased customer loyalty. In the Institute study, employers reported that in reality, they had minimum difficulty with the challenges that, before participating, they had expected. All they have to do was to open to the possibilities. And when they were, it was a win-win. Here's my challenge to all of you. Be open. Be open to the possibilities of taking a similar step in your own lives. Make a personal connection with an institution, an agency, a volunteer organization that is dedicated to overcoming pessimistic assumptions and instead see the possibilities. Make your participation in that work a permanent part of your life plan. My own emphasis has been on the needs of those with physical and intellectual disabilities. You might choose the same, or you might choose to serve the homeless, or those crushed by addiction, or prisoners, or immigrants seeking escape to a better life. Don't worry. There is no shortage of need. But here's the thing. Make the commitment. Make the same kind of commitment to this objective as you make to your exercise program. Build it into your routine. I guarantee you that 20, 30, 40 years later, you will look back at what you have accomplished with great satisfaction. One more real-life story. When I was a kid, I had a paper route delivering newspapers in Dorchester. And one of my customers was a politician. He was a congressman. But he also happened to be the Speaker of the United States Congress, John W. McCormick. He was a wonderful man, and he loved chatting with his paper boy. Some years later, I was admitted to college in Washington. My family couldn't afford the college cost. And I had to rely heavily on financial aid if I were to be attending college. But quite frankly, even that wasn't enough. I wrote a letter to the congressman, and I said, I'm here in Washington. I'm going to college here at American University. If I could ever meet with you to ask you for advice on how I could work my way through college. Now, you're not going to believe this, graduates, but a week later, I'm in the dorm with 4 other guys, first semester, first year. I get a knock on the door. It's the RA, and he says, "Is a guy named Brett here?" I said, "Yes, sir." This is what I think you might not understand this word. I have a telegram. Telegram. Yes, a telegram. I am so happy my paper boy is here in Washington. Please call my office and ask for John Moynihan. I'd like to meet with you. So I call the Capitol. I get to the speaker's office. I finally get to Mr. Moynihan. And he said, the speaker's very excited that his paper boy is here in Washington going to college. If you can come in next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Well, I'm in Washington for like 2 weeks. I think I had 1 suit, 2 shirts. I didn't know how to get downtown. I didn't know how to get to the Capitol. I didn't know how to get to the speaker's office. But I figured it all out. I finally get there. This is pre-social media and Google, and the phones are ringing. And the administrative assistant says, "You're going to have to wait." And I said, "Wait as long as I..." Eventually she gets off the phone and she says, "Come this way." And she brings me to this area, and she opens the door and she steps aside and she says, "You can go in now." And I go in, and the speaker is probably down at the end where the gentleman's holding is standing in the rear with the blue blazer. He's sitting at his desk, 3-piece pinstripe suit, white curly hair, wire-frim glasses, and smoking a cigar. And he waves me in. He said, "Jimmy, come on in." I'm like, I can't believe that I'm in the speaker's office. It's ornate, the chandelier in the ceiling. I'm sitting there. And he said, "Jimmy, I'm going to give you a job." A job. You're going to deliver, again, at that era, a lot of people were writing letters and notes, and so they were using the mail. You're going to deliver mail 4 in the morning till 8 in the morning, and you're going to do it in the Rayburn building, the Longworth building, and the Cannon building. But it's 4 hours, 5 days a week. There's enough money to pay your room, your board, and your tuition. I'm sitting there, and I said to the speaker, "Mr. Speaker, my mother has no money. No money. We're not politically active. And I don't know how to thank you for giving me this opportunity to go to college and have no debt. I don't really know how to thank you." And he was puffing his cigar, and he said, Jimmy, you know how you could thank me?" I said, "I have no idea, Mr. Speaker." "Do something nice for someone else who can't repay you. That'll be my reward." He didn't say help somebody else who can help you. Help somebody else along the way who can't repay you. That'll be my reward. Obviously, he was a man of generosity of spirit and a spirit of generosity. It was a lesson that I've tried never to forget. And so, as you likely wrap up your academic career, in the words of the poet T.S. Eliot, it's not farewell, but fare forward. Congratulations and best wishes to all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brett. We truly appreciate your ability to be with us this evening and, of course, to bring your bride with you as well. Thank you for being here, ma'am. In a few moments, we'll begin conferring degrees upon the graduates. The ceremony dates back to the early universities in Europe when education was chiefly for and by the clergy. The academic regalia now worn by our college faculty and the graduates and our trustees is similar to that worn in earlier times. In those universities, graduates dedicated themselves to a life of serving others. Academic hoods signify an important symbol and distinguish the wearer both by rank and academic discipline. Each hood is bordered by a wide velvet band in the color assigned to the specific academic discipline which the degree is granted. The lining bears the school's own colors. At Nichols, the velvet is either beige or gold, and the lining is Nichols green with a black chevron. During the ceremony, each candidate will be greeted by their respective program director, who will add the hood to their academic regalia, a tangible symbol representing them as a holder of the master's degree. The act of conferring the degree is symbolic of admission of each graduate into the company of scholars and an expressed willingness to be a dedicated person using knowledge to help build a better and more prosperous world. We will now confer the degrees. Each degree candidate will come forward individually. Dr. Len Somborowski, Director of the MBA program, Dr. Brian Coleman, Director of the MSA program, Dr. Allison McDowell Smith, Director of the MSc program, and Professor Andrea Becker, Director of the MSOL program, are investing the hoods over the master's degree candidates to signify the successful completion of their program. Associate Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Robin Frickel, will preside. Following the hooding, each candidate will be greeted by the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, whom you've heard from, Randy Becker, who will be assisted by Bettine Robichaud, Associate Dean for Registration. Before we call up Dr. Frickel, I just want to take a moment to recognize our distinguished faculty that are here today and all that they've done to ensure that we're AACSB qualified and what they've done for all of you during your time here at Nichols. So if the faculty would please rise, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Dr. Frickel.
I'll begin by announcing the Master of Business Administration degree candidates. Emily LaChapelle. Emily is the recipient of the Award for Academic Excellence in the Master of Business Administration program. Michael Spalding. Michael is a recipient of the Bison Leadership Award. Adam Lawrence Acarulo. Prabin Adi Kari. Dominic Vincent Ambrosino. Okay. Ibrahima Ba. Teddy A. Barkowitz. Sanjab Batabayal. Joseph Busa. Sophie J. Carapicha. Chad M. Eads. Clayton James Fahey. David Williams Foster. Brett Paul Franchose. Brianna Rose Hogan. Timothy Ronald Hutchinson. Brian Michael Kalajian. Joseph P. Marinacci. Jared E. Mason. Liam Patrick Maynard. Christian Michael Mayotte. Brett Austin Nascimento. Jacob Michael Ortega. Vincent Ruben Ortiz. Abigail Elise Peelies. Luan John Pope Jr. Tyler Thomas Sargent. Jenna Sue Savoy. Robert M. Shea Jr. Summer Sky St. Hilaire. Suhan Thapa. Taylor Brooke Tornberg. Michael R. Venziano. Skyla Wazalowski. I will now read the names of the Master of Science and Accounting degree candidates. Ryan. Ryan. Emily Ann Tanishin. Emily is the recipient of the Award for Academic Excellence in the Master of Science and Accounting program. Kendra Marie Anise. Morgan N. Bielert. Madison E. Brown. Evan Anthony Kostoskis. Brandy Patricia Mercer. Mariana Nashif. Matthew Lee Rainsford. Kuntia Siv Pav. Daniel William Sweeney. Elias R. Wiebe. Nathan W. Winder. I will now read the names of the Master of Science and Counterterrorism degree candidates. Samantha Ann Medina. Samantha is the recipient of the Award for Academic Excellence in the Master of Science in Counterterrorism program. Kevin Robert Mercier. Kevin is a recipient of the Bison Leadership Award. Samantha Lynn Ahasi. Mackenzie P. Burgalt. Joseph Hunter Zarnecki. Jennifer Pamela Delgado. Amanda Jacqueline Donahue. Maya Ray Hall. Caitlin Marie Joyal. Isabella Port. Kyle Ian Streifler. Jonathan Paul Sylvester. Rebecca Powell Taylor. Matthew Joseph Tina. I will now read the names of the Master of Science and Organizational Leadership degree candidates. Matthew L. Electus. Morgan Kathleen Almon. Matthew S. Bourgeois. Jamie A. Dowd. Jaylene Brianna Fagan. Ronnie Love Joseph. Kian Joseph Patrick Cohane. Elizabeth May Luster. Jordan Star Elizabeth McGuire. Carrie Ann Moran. Eliza R. Phillips. Nicole A. Riley. Peter Wesley Shoemaker. Darian Gregory Wall. Demetria Rubel. Next is the name of the dual Master of Business Administration and Master of Science and Accounting degree. Nicole A. Eldridge. The dual Master of Science in Counterterrorism degree and Master of Science and Accounting degree candidate, Amber M. Nadeau. I will now read the names of the dual Master of Business Administration and Master of Science in Organizational Leadership degree candidates. Bethany Marie Boucher. Bethany is the recipient of the Award for Academic Excellence in the dual Master of Business Administration and Master of Science in Organizational Leadership programs. Carrie P. Sear. Carrie is a recipient of the Bison Leadership Award. Dana Bernadette Edwards. Ryan M. Gaiman. Kevin Robert Cohane. Julene Mitchell. Caitlin Elizabeth Peterson. Thomas Matthew Russell. Sarah K. Tower. Sarah is a recipient of the Bison Leadership Award.
Thank you, Dean Fricall. Now will the candidates for their respective degrees please rise. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the Board of Trustees of Nichols College, I now confer upon each of you who has successfully completed all requirements the degree of Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Accounting, Master of Science in Counterterrorism, and Master of Science in Organizational Leadership, as appropriate, with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Please move the tassel on your cap to the left. Congratulations, graduates. Chairman Becker.
Congratulations, everyone. This concludes the graduate school commencement exercises. Graduates, please remain standing at your seats until the platform party and faculty have recessed. This will indicate that the proceedings are closed. Congratulations, all of you.
On behalf of the entire Nichols College community, we thank all of you for being in this tent tonight and for being here. Please join us in Lombard Dining Hall for our reception at the conclusion of the ceremony. Congratulations to all. Lumba.